everybody, how's it going? It's Jamie the Crafty DIY Guy. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing some high-end DIYs. All of these from Dollar Tree products. I'm super excited about all of these and think that they are super cute. And honestly, everything that I've made in today's video, I am using in my own home right now. In fact, one of them is kind of sitting right here next to me, but I'm not going to show it to you yet because I want you to watch the video. Now, before we get into that video, I want to say, of course, thank you to all of my subscribers, my long-termers, my short-termers, my newbies, everybody in between. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're brand new to the channel, perhaps even YouTube has recommended this video. Hopefully you will stick around and hang out and enjoy the video, and you will become a subscriber. All right, guys, let's get into the video. And by the way, if you like my t-shirt, I'll have a link below. I've got some merch out now. It's crazy, but I do. All right, bye guys. For my first Dollar Tree project, I'm going to take this wicker basket that I picked up around Easter time, and I'm just going to use some masking tape, and I'm going to tape off the center here. I'm going to be painting some blue stripes on this, and the masking tape is going to help kind of keep everything in place. And I think I'm calling this masking tape, but it's actually painter's tape, but you guys would know that. Now I'm going to take this dark navy chalk paint that I have from a Maker Studio, and I'm just going to take this stenciling brush, and I'm just going to be going very heavy on that rattan part of the basket there because I want that blue stripe to be across the center and across the bottom. So I'm going to work my way all the way around, and then I am going to kind of push that brush in a little bit harder just to make sure that I get a nice solid blue stripe. Originally, I was going to have something that was maybe a little bit lighter that showed a little bit more of the rattan, but I decided that I would go ahead and just go in and once again, just kind of go really heavy on those blue sections there just to make sure that I have really good coverage, but also so you can see my favorite color in the world, which happens to be navy. Now for the heat gun there, I'm just using that to kind of speed up that drying process. As you can see, this paint is getting a little bit lighter, and I really do love this color. This is probably my favorite color. I think it would be very odd for you not to see me with something in blue or blue in my house. Like, blue is my jam. Now I am removing that painter's tape and trying to anyway. And as you can see, it gave me some really nice clean lines that I'm super happy with. Now I want to add some handles onto this basket because I want to give it kind of an elevated look. And I have this leather ribbon, or this faux leather ribbon from Dollar Tree. I've only been able to find one roll in each color, so I use it very sparingly. But all I'm going to do is literally just take it here and I am gluing it down to my basket. And the great thing about the basket is that you can use kind of those woven pieces kind of as your visual line when you're kind of gluing these down. That way you know you've got everything nice and even. And then I am going to repeat this process on the other side of the basket as well. And just holding it down with my hands perfectly fine. It's not too hot or anything like that. And it does hold really well. Now you've got some cute looking leather handles on your basket with that navy stripe, but we are not done yet because we're going to give those leather handles a little bit of an elevated look. And the way we're going to do that is by using these puffy stickers that you can get at your local Dollar Tree. Now, this particular package only had 2 of this one kind of hinge style sticker that I really liked, so I did grab 2 packages. I was glad that I grabbed 2 packages when I did that. And now I'm just going to stick them right into place here. Now they will adhere to the basket. I did go ahead and just add some hot glue in behind it. You'll see in the future ones here that I put on. I am putting a little dab of hot glue on there and then just putting them right in place. I love the way that those handles, or that sticker handle, makes it look. It really looks elevated. And then I didn't have a whole lot of fern pieces from Dollar Tree, so I just kind of made do with what I had, but I think you get the idea. I am probably going to go to like Home Depot or Lowe's and grab a legitimate fern, or maybe even a faux fern that is a little more robust. But we're not showing off the fern for this DIY, we're showing off the basket. And I think that the basket turned out really, really cool. I'm super happy with the way that this looks. With this next DIY, I'm going to be incorporating this sunbeam lamp that I picked up at Dollar Tree when I was in Wilmington, North Carolina. This is a great little lamp. It is nice and bright. It is all very, very, very white. And I feel like the shade just needs a little something. That lamp, by the way, also came with that LED bulb. Now I have this great stencil from a maker studio, and I believe this is supposed to kind of mimic like an elephant pattern, like an elephant skin pattern. And now I'm going to go ahead and just open up that stencil and apply it to the lampshade. Now, a Maker Studio's stencils are adhesive, or they have like a temporary adhesive back, but it doesn't really hold super well on the lampshade. So after I kind of tuck in some of that excess stencil that I'm not going to be using, I am going to be using a little bit of masking tape and just kind of hold the stencil in place. I'm going to be using that same navy paint that I used for the basket that you saw just a little while ago. That way I have a nice cohesive look. And again, I told you that navy was my favorite color. Now with the stencil, anything that you see there in gray is what is not going to show through, and any of the white that you see is where this blue paint is going to end up. Now, for this one, I did not want this to kind of look like a giraffe or, you know, be very, very bold. I kind of wanted this to be very muted in some spots. I didn't want this to be super consistent. I kind of intentionally did it very heavy in some marks, and then in some parts rather, and then I did it a little bit lighter in others. And as I'm working my way around the lampshade, I'm kind of doing that texture on purpose. That way when I remove the stencil, as you can see here, it gives me a very cool kind of a vintagey vibe, you know, like it's not supposed to be perfect. And that's what really makes it beautiful. I love the way that this turned out, and I think that it really adds a nice pop of color to that, you know, all bright white lamp that we had before. My next DIY is going to incorporate some items that I picked up from the Dollar Tree Plus section. I found this metal stool for $5. I also grabbed a dog toy for $1 in the Dollar Tree kind of traditional section. And then this wood round was also $5. I thought I could make a really cool kind of industrial looking stool with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my Waverly antiquing wax, and I'm just going to use a paper towel here. I'm going to put a little bit on the paper towel and just start rubbing it in with the grain of the wood. Although right there I'm not doing it, but now I remembered that I needed to do this with the grain of the wood. And I'm just going to go back through and kind of apply it very liberally with my antiquing wax there. And as you will see, I made a mess, but the color is fantastic. I really like the way that looks, and I did let it sit for just a little while, and now I'm going to go through and just wipe off any of the excess antiquing wax. What's great about that kind of residual antiquing wax that's left on the actual front of this board is that I can use that for the back side as well. And then I'm going to go through and just kind of dab and kind of cover up or fix any little imperfections that I might see. And even though it looks like I have a mess here, I'm throwing away just some paper towels. And believe it or not, everything that's on that green mat is going to wipe right off of there. Now that I've got both sides of my wood board done, I am going to now screw this to the top of my stool. Now, for the stool itself, I thought originally that I was going to take the stool part off of there, but it makes sense to keep it on there. I'm just going to add some very small screws that aren't going to go up through the stool, because that would be rather painful when you sat down on this. And I am just going to use my Ryobi cordless drill here. And now I'm going to take this dog toy apart. If you guys saw my nautical DIY video, I loved working with these dog toys. And I had this one, and it was not the same color as the other dog toys that I used in the previous video. So I thought that this could be nice to incorporate my favorite color of blue. And so now I'm going to take the rope and literally treat it like a trim on my stool. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some hot glue, and I'm going to work my way around. I'm using an all-purpose hot glue from Surebonder, and it holds really, really well. The combo of the glue with I think just the material and the wood and even the metal, I've not had any issues at all with it holding into place, which has been great. And as I work my way around, I'm going to add a little bit more glue and kind of make sure that everything is nice and solid. And then when I do kind of get to the area where the two pieces of rope meet, you'll see that it's a little tricky. For this one, I am just going to kind of cut it down into place and get it as close to possible. And then I'm just going to add some hot glue, and I'm going to build in kind of layers in there and really try to connect all those pieces as smoothly as I can. And when it was all done, I was actually pretty happy with the way that this looks. I don't think that you can really tell. Obviously, if you look super close, you can, but I think that this is great to use as a stool, but I also think that this is going to be the perfect plant stand out on my front porch. And you know, Otis seems to think that it is the perfect little plant stand, and it's a plant that he can't eat either, which is a really good thing. So this is what the finished basket looks like. I told you my fern game was weak, but Otis seems to be very, very chill with it all.